stealing children with men. It was maybe this was like pre-programming that they've already done something where we won't be able to have any more children. But concerning the population of the world, I've read somewhere where all indications it's going to plateau at around. Don't quote me on this number. Let's just say 12 billion, and then it's going to slowly decrease. And I don't know why you're excluding Africa. From what the studies I've seen, even Africa is industrializing, and all the industrialized parts of even sub-Saharan Africa, people
all the industrialized, Joe, South Africa, the north parts of Africa. I agree with you. I'm just saying that the statistics I was looking at, Centre Africa, where they like to have wars.
Nigeria, even
there you go. Congo.
Their birth rate is decreasing too. It's a human phenomenon. It's kind of funny. I can't remember the name of this book. There was a certain book that a conspiracy book that delved on the subject that basically all the white people and Chinese people in the entire world killed each other off, and then the planet was taken over by black people. I can't remember the end of the book. It was very fascinating to read. But what I see is this: as more Africa becomes more developed, their birth rate will also decrease. And maybe the elites have seen this, like we're going to have a worldwide aging population.
But I mean, Joe, this aging population is a very serious problem. I mean, in Europe, the population is getting older. You know, the median life expectancy keeps going up and up and up. In Switzerland, the women live to 82.6 years. They only work till 62. Men work till 65, and they die at 77.3 or whatever it is. There's also already a question of the between sexes, but the people are getting older now. In past, in the 20s, 30s, people didn't live to be 100 and 90 and whatever. There was a quick rollover, the population increasing. We've now come to a stage. For example, you take the case of Spain. You 20% of non-kids, non-adolescents or young adolescents that are unemployed. You 40% of the youth that are unemployed. Who's going to pay the old people in Spain? Now, we know about their siestas and their long holidays and their history of non-commitment for work. Same as Greece. Most of them.
I got a simple solution. Let's dump capitalism and have pure social.
But that isn't. That's, oh man. I'm not a big fan of socialism. I can see why. I can see some aspects of it, but in my life it's just not part of it. I don't think I'll be around to collect it. I think I'll be dead before then. When I make it to 65, I'll be lucky. And that's my personal outlook. I look from the bottom down and work up from there, and that's the way I look at it. But there is no easy solution. And all the people. I looked at a house in Ireland when I was over there the weekend. It was selling for 189,000 euro, and the same house went for 360,000 euros 3 years ago in the same housing estate, the same number, and I know a little bit about it. Prices are down half. People, have been sucked in for the last 20 years. All their money went into their properties, and they got wiped out. It's in Greece, it's in Ireland, it's in the US, it's in the UK, it's all over. France, not too badly hit. It's not everywhere. In Switzerland, not badly hit at all. But a lot of the big countries, the indebted countries, have got wiped out, wiping out the middle class. But, at the end, Joe, is how do we deal with the middle class, including myself?
What I envision is that, again, I have to
give my own... people might not know this about me, but my particular... I really don't discuss it that often, but I'm a rather anti-capitalist sort of fellow, specifically after... thanks to Sullivan of WakeUpFamousSlumber.com has similar viewpoints to mine of being of the Proudhon school, and a French socialist, which I'm sure you're familiar with, before Marx. He hated Marx. And, what I see is basically the fall of capitalism and maybe not the type of socialism that we're all as conspiracy theorists are familiar with, which entails...
What are you going to say? Socialism with a gold standard. Without Jewish bankers.
Well, basically, if you... That's why I usually don't bring this up because, especially within conspiracy community, is rather patriotic, right wing, and people are going to think a lot less of me after we release the show. But I got to be honest, and tell the truth about myself.
Joe, I want you to be honest on the show. It's a serious show, and your opinions count. So go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, well, what I see is this: that with the breakdown, we are seeing the breakdown of capitalism at the moment, and I should also, a little side note. I hate Bob Chapman. Bob Chapman is a dirty Jew who's full of shit. And if you really want to hear some great economic analysis, you go listen to Mike in East Texas. He is one. I gave you a link to his.
Yeah, I downloaded it, Joe. We'll check it out.
This guy is 1 million times better than Bob Chapman, and he just.
Yeah, but he's always on AJ. He's another Jew. Jim Sinclair is another one. Half the guys on King World News are. Eric Sprott, he works for Rothschild directly. As I said, Joe, when I came back from the 2 months, I started re-listening to, old channels. You see the Jewish connection instantly. It's there. It's all over the bloody place. And Bob Chapman is a case in point.
Oh, Bob Chapman. Funny thing about Bob Chapman, he's friends with Le Pen of the National Front of France. He just mentioned it once on the show. Yeah, back to my personal opinion, what's going to happen in the world. We're seeing the deterioration of the capitalist system we've suffered under all these men.
But Joe, I don't know what a capitalist system is. I can just see rape.
Well, actually, if you really analyze it, it's Yiddish robber baron mercantilism. It's not even.
Well, that's a better description, and just add in the rape of the people, and I think you have a system.
Yeah, well, what I see is basically what's going to happen is these global financial interconnects are going to start failing. Each country will be a lot more nationalistic. But within that nationalism, it's not going to be very conducive to banking capitalism.
Joe, we're
socialism just by natural evolution.
Well, there's socialism and nationalism, and it's an earmark.
Socialism.
And then then you go on to national socialism. The subdivide, divide and conquer, puts us on a path for World War III when the financial system goes down. And I'd just like to mention this: all it takes is an Ireland, a Portugal, a Greece. Or a Japan to crash, or the US and the UK and the French should all crash anyway. Japan, has horrendous, outstanding. One of them to break out from the global monetary system, which is hooked in 24 hours a day, and that'll give countries a chance to review who their politicians are that are working for Israel. In Ireland, our new guy, you had a look at him today. He's a strong Yid supporter. He's yet to prove to me that he'd do anything to back up the BDS movement, to kick out the Israeli ambassador out of Ireland for protesting the mass murder of Palestinians would be a good start. And then pull out of the banking system, do an Iceland on it. We have enough fish. We're an island nation. We have enough water. Jesus, we have enough water. It rains all the time. We've great infrastructure. The roads we have now are absolutely creme de la creme. Driving to the airport is a pleasure. No roadblocks. All dual carriageway highways, absolutely well run. Except they have toll roads, so I'm sure the King of Spain owns the toll. But it's true, my brother brought me around. He's a little gadget on the front of his car, and he just said, "Oh, another toll road, another toll road, another toll road." And that didn't exist a few years ago. There was a toll plaza coming out of the airport in Dublin, and now it's all over the country. So maybe we get Alex to talk about the King of Spain. The King of Spain owns all the motorways in Ireland and the toll roads, and they're all over the place and they're expanding. And that is absolutely correct. The toll roads are expanding. The roads are very good. But my brother said, my company is over there. He said, "There's the toll. This is where they scan you." He said, "My company is over there about a mile away." He said, "I come back this way and back and forth 10 times a day doing jobs, and it's €3.40 or €3.20 a shot." For people who don't have systems, they take a photo of you, and it says you have 24 hours to pay. So you have to go into a shop or a post office and buy a ticket, like a lottery ticket, to pay for your trip to Dublin.
Yeah, I mean, you may, I know as a user of the toll roads, you may see them as basically from the financial aspect. As a conspiracy theorist, I see them more as surveillance. That let's pretend like there's some dissident who's attempting to flee from a certain jurisdiction to somewhere else because he has law enforcement chasing him. Well, since he had all these toll roads here, there's no possibility for him to use an automobile because they would know instantly where he was.
Oh no, absolutely, and but they're scanning on the national roads as well, and the small roads. There's cameras everywhere now. I mean, the cameras are shooting up all over the place. The thing is, it's interesting if you're walking around any city, especially for our American friends. If you're in Europe, go anywhere. But don't look at it, at iView. Look up, and you'll see all the cameras are everywhere. You should see them in America already, but we have them as well. London has more of them than anywhere in the world, and yet they can't. Crime has gone up.
Yeah, those cameras that they use they're not meant for petty criminals. No, they're
false. Are you saying that they're only there for false flag operations?
Exactly. You read my mind. That's exactly what I was going to say. They're only used for these fake terrorist events, so they could say, like, look, we just happened to have a surveillance camera there when this brown person came and blew up all these these buses. So therefore, we're going to have to have checkpoints on every street corner. I mean, it is so...
That's feeding the goyim news. The people need their 7 o'clock news, 8 o'clock news, 9 o'clock news, whatever news most people watch in their country, depending on the country. Feed them all this. We have to protect the motherland and the fatherland. And you hear the word fatherland. For me, the only fatherland I ever heard was the Hitler and the Nazi era. They were protecting the fatherland, and now that's quite often used when you're talking about the US. And get these military, political, Israeli ass slickers on TV, which are always on TV, and they're giving we need this, and we caught this terrorist. We can't tell you, but we were spying on them all the way down the motorway and whatever. They've got chips in the cars. You have a rent-a-car. They're all GPS. They know exactly where you're going. Anyone they're interested in, they'll tag them. So very easy to tag somebody of interest. But I don't think there's that many people out there that they can tag. It's that bad for them that they have to invent so many of these fake, the underpants bomber, the shoe bomber, the most ridiculous, and people still believe that.
I don't know. I got to disagree with you. Recently, not recently, but this year in Stockholm, where I live, they had this false flag operation where they said this guy blew himself up on Queen Street in Stockholm. And of course, the first week, everyone believed it. Oh, we can't believe this! Islamic terror comes to Sweden. But after a while, I gotta give it. I hate these people. I consider them scumbag money lovers. Con artists, conspiracy con men. But I gotta tell the truth. It was Red Ice Creations that was able to point out the fact that a report where a person affiliated with the Department of Defense in Sweden was given a heads up that something would occur on Queen Street before it actually occurred, which was this bombing. And people like me spread this information throughout Sweden, and
that'll make you popular.
The reaction is really diffused. So I don't think these people are wising up. The only people you see right
now is and speak from Sweden. Who actually really believe, or not believe, but are promoting this are Freemasons, Jews, and Freemason Jews, and basically stupid people. Everyone else is either ambivalent or they don't believe it. I think these false flag operations have really lost their effect. I don't know what they're going to plan next. They can't use the methods they've been using since long.
Yeah, but they're good at coming. They're good. I mean, 9/11 was quite spectacular when you look at the show aspect of it. I mean, they've got 10 years out of it, and most people still believe they don't know anything about Building 7. Joe, you're into a lot, very strong into the conspiracy. I'm not. I wouldn't consider myself a conspiracy theorist anymore. Absolutely not. An anti-banker. My girlfriend best described me several months ago. We had an argument, and she said you're very passionate, and I didn't think too much of it at the time. But the following day, I am very passionate about everything I've ever done. When I ran Consent for 3 years, I was very passionate about it. When I got into this, I was very passionate about it, and I've moved on from the conspiracies, because when you look into every conspiracy, you find the same people. So, then why bother with the smaller things and just concentrate on the people that are running the show? So So I slightly differ with you. I don't look at any hollow hoax, any moon landing hoax. Anyone that says 9/11 was done by a guy in a cave that they just whipped out of ice and shot him in the head and didn't show us a photo and buried him at sea for Muslim reasons. All this hokey pokey, and no webcams on the soldiers, and the locals saying this guy didn't live here. This is all Hollywood Jewish propaganda, which